Hey y'all, welcome in or welcome back to the Monster Meadow. My name is Meadow and today we are opening another doll from the school's outline. And today's doll is Spectra Vondergeist. We are back to the dolls that have a lot loose in their box. Spectra's brush, purse, and pet are all loose, and her hair's loose as well. She has quite a few broken rubber bands, and it looks like her diary is also creased. So this is going to be pretty quick unboxing probably, but I guess let's go ahead and take a closer look at her box before we break her out of it. Alright, here is Spectra. We have Monster High on the side here, a haunting beauty, her pet's name, but the pet is in the bottom of the box. Includes diary, Spectra Vondergeist, daughter of a ghost, side of the box, back of the box. Let's see. Age 16 in monster years. Parents, the ghosts. Killer style, silk, and more silk, accentuated with a touch of metal. It allows me to freely float about with just a hint of rattle. It's quite the haunting look, wouldn't you agree? Freaky flaw. Yes, well, I've never really given this much thought, you see, since I find that it's unhealthy to focus on what one does wrong, especially when contrasted with all the good one does in life. I am also not a gossip, despite rumors to the contrary. Pet, Rune, or Ruin, is my ghost ferret. Did you know that the name ferret comes from the Latin ferretus, which means little thief? Of course you didn't, until I told you. Favorite activity, providing certain information not readily available to the general Monster High student body. Pet peeve, when certain monsters doubt the behind-the-screens information I have about what really happens at Monster High. It can be very difficult being the only one in the know. Favorite subject, journalism. Least favorite subject, math. It's just so rigid and unopen to interpretation. Favorite color, violet. Favorite food, angel food cake. It's light and full of sweetness, much like me. BFFs, everyone loves Spectra V. And then at the bottom, we have, for some reason, Draculaura's first wave outfit, and then Claudine, Frankie, and Cleo's School's Out outfit, and then an advertisement for the Ghouls Rule movie in artwork form instead of the actual CGI cover, which is interesting. Then we have Monster High website, assortment N2851. There's a dog hair. Model number VN962. Barcode. Side of the box. Top of the box says Spectra Vondergeist. And then the bottom. And that is Spectra Vondergeist. The original Spectra. I do have the Creep Row. I think we might compare them once I get her out of this box. Alright, let's go ahead and break Spectra out of her box. We have one of the paper inserts. looks like Spectra's previous owner had taken at least the top part of her out of the box, because she does not have 3T ties. Instead, she has one of these sewing pins in the back of her head. I hope there is not a hole in the back of her head because of that. But already free, we have her purse, her pet, and her purple brush. Let's go ahead and get her stand free. Right, here is her purple stand. Just like Claudine's stand, the stem is a slightly lighter shade than the base and the clip. I think the brush is a different shade too. All right. Here is Spectra's diary. It says, "I don't snoop in your unlife, so please don't snoop in mine." And then, oh my. The previous owner had this pin shoved in her head. Alright. Here is back of Spectra's box. Whee. Hope that pin didn't damage her head. Doesn't feel like she has any glue seepage, so it makes me wonder if they washed her hair. And then this is the variant of Spectra where her earrings have silver chains instead of just solid black earrings. She has silver chains, which I think I actually prefer compared to the solid black earrings. They must have done something to her hair because this is silky. Which I'm not going to complain. It's one less thing for me to do. It was just strange that they shoved a sewing pin through the back of her head. So yeah, that was mighty fast. But here is Spectra. I'm going to get her posed. We'll take a closer look at her. And I think I'll break out my creep row so we can kind of compare. You know, since the unboxing took like no time. But yeah, I will be right back here with you guys. Alright, here is the original Spectra from the school's outline. She doesn't seem to have very much yellowing, and her hair seems to be very silky smooth, full of, free of glue, not full of glue, oh my. But, I can already tell some differences between this original Spectra and my Creep Row Spectra. But, before we compare them, let's go ahead and take a look at her diary. So we have Monster High, Spectra Vondergeist. I don't snoop in your unlife, so please don't snoop in mine. And then you guys can just pause to read if you would like. And that is Spectra's diary. Now let's go ahead and stop her spinning and bring in my Creep Row. I'll tell you what, her pet does not like to stay standing. The original or the Creep Row. So, as you can see, my variant of the original has the silver chains, whereas the Creep Row has black chains but like a silver peg at the top. And also these earrings are more pearlescent than the Creep Row. Creep Row is just a solid shiny black. It looks like, I don't know if this is because of age or what, but the pink straps on the original Spectras is slightly lighter than the pink straps on the Creep Row. The chains on the Creep Row seem to be longer so they can drape better. Also, the Creep Row has a shiny fabric in the middle, whereas this one is actually glittery, and it also is ruched more than the Creep Row. Skirts are pretty much the same. Let's see. Purses. Looks like the Creep Row's purse is a slightly darker purple than the original. Again, this could just be due to age, but you can tell there's a slight difference in the shade. The same thing goes for Rune or Ruin. I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce it, but this is the original. Definitely more blue than the Creep Row, and slightly more opaque. I want to say this yellowing is because of age. But yeah, that's the pet. And then It's more noticeable in person, but the original stand is a slightly deeper purple than the Crepro. On camera, they look a little bit more magenta than purple. But yeah. And then, as we all know, Crepro Spectra has poly, unfortunately. The cut of the hair is definitely different. Crepro has a bit more of a curve in it, whereas the original is more blunt, straight across. And on camera, this one looks more blue than the Crepro. In person, the blue undertone isn't as noticeable, but there is a difference in shade. And then as for the kind of lilac lavender underneath, this one is more blue than this one. This one's more of a true purpley shade. This one has a bit more blue in it. And then I don't know if this is a factory thing or if the original owner of the original Spectra changed it, but this Spectra's chain it's kind of a weird shape where it's kind of a trapezoidal shape where this side is like shorter, where this side is wider, and then on this one it's upside down. So I don't know if that was the original owner flipping it or if that's a production thing where they flipped it. But yeah, there are some very slight differences. Obviously the face is different too. The eyes are bigger on the original, and they're slightly more narrow on the Crepro. Whereas the Crepro has, the lips are, I don't want to say more pursed on the Crepro, or what, but like, I want to say the original has a pretty full bottom lip and her mouth is kind of wide, whereas the Crepro kind of looks like she's given duck face. I'm not gonna lie. And then the original, she seems to have more defined cheekbones than the Crepro. And then the original, her eyeshadow is a little more brighter of a blue compared to the Crepro. This one's a little more tealish. This one's more brighter, if you guys can see it. But yeah, that's original G1 Spectra versus Crepro. Both pets are on the floor. But yeah, that is the original Spectra. I cannot wait to add her to my cabinet. Alright, that is all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and let me know. If you'd like to see more content between now and my next video, you can check out all of my socials linked in the description down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I can't wait to see you all in my next video. And remember, don't be afraid to be yourself. Bye!